Well, hello, my epic warrior and Facebook friends. It's Renee McLaughlin, and can you believe it is the Wednesday before Christmas is coming? Yes, I know, we have another Wednesday next week, but the Christmas is in a week. Oh my goodness, talk about all the stress we already have, and now we add Christmas and social distancing and all that stuff, and just getting it all done and deciding what we're going to do with family and just all that good stuff. But oh well, we're all here and we're in it together. So I'm excited today to share with you this particular movement, somatic movement flow. This is one of my absolute favorites, and it is for a couple of reasons. The first one is, of course, it's short. Number two, it's gentle, but it also can completely repattern all the muscles just about in your whole body, but it really will focus on neck, shoulders, whole torso, hips. I mean, basically everything. You're going to be blown away. The other thing that I love about it is, as I've talked about before, the brain learns by contrast. So what you're going to see with this particular flow is we're going to test our range of motion before we do the flow. We're going to flow, and then we're going to test again. And that's always the secret, because people always go, oh my gosh, OMG. That's what I'm hoping I hear from you. OMG. All right, so you guys ready? Now, I brought this chair out. I'm going to do this flow on the floor because I want to show you how to do it that way. But just know that the exact same flow can be done in a chair. That's why I brought it here. And when you go to do it in a chair, you're just going to bring your legs out wide. And what you're going to see is I'm going to turn. And you're just going to support yourself with the feet on the ground as you turn. This is what it's going to look like in a chair. Okay, so you can do it there. I'm going to the floor, so I'm going to move my chair out of the way here, and I'm going to bring my little self down here to the floor. So here is the starting position. Let me get this out of the way so I don't have any confusion. So this is the beginning form that you're going to have. One leg comes across, and this one's back. Now, for some of us, if you have knee issues, this might be a little bit uncomfortable. And with Gentle Somatics, you know, no pain. We always use props, we modify. There's always a modification to make you as comfortable as possible so that these movements are as pleasurable as possible. So if you're here and you're like, it kind of bothers my knee, no worries. You can put that there. You can bring it out a little bit more. You can put it here. So all pleasure, no pain. Make sure that you're in a position that you can maintain and be comfortable in. All right, so let's begin. I'm just going to be in this position because I'm comfortable. We're going to begin by testing to see where our range of motion is first. And this is how you're going to do it. You're going to take the side that you're going to work. I'm going to start on this side, this arm, and you're just going to put it out here. Now notice I'm not right next to my body. I'm out a little bit so that I kind of have a bit of a lean into it. I kind of call this almost like my kickstand. So I'm just going to kind of hold myself there. To test, we take the opposite arm and put it right here on this knee. And you're going to take this top hip, and all you're going to do is lift the hip, and we're going to come all the way around. Now, I'm turning my whole torso along with my head, and I'm just going to go to wherever it's comfortable. No pain, no strain. Okay, so just take yourself over. Where are you right now? That's about where I am. Again, with the head, you can turn it, but only till it's like, okay, that's where it wants to be. And with your eyeballs, find a place on the back wall to make sure that you know that's your starting position. And then we come all the way back. This top hip drops back, and we relax, because we always relax after the flow. So that's our test. Now, let's begin. We're going to take, instead of putting this opposite hand on the knee, we're going to put it up here at the shoulder. And I'm going to lift my elbow up, and I'm going to lift my top hip, and I'm going to come up and around. So I'm going to come up and around, seeing wherever. I'm only going to go to where it's comfortable for me. And I can keep turning my head again to wherever it's comfortable. I'm going to pause there. And then I'm going to bring it all the way back. So I call this the top hip. The top hip now drops back. The elbow drops and my head drops. I realize as I'm looking at this, I'm in black. You probably can't see that, but my elbow went down. And I'm just going to relax here for a second. And we're going to go again. So I'm going to lift the elbow, lift the hip. And I'm going to come up and around. Now, at this point, I can already move my hand back a little bit. because I already have a little bit more range of motion. And the arm that I have on the ground, I'm going to take that shoulder blade and I'm going to slide it in towards the center of my body or towards the spine. Just get a sense of that because we're engaging the upper back. And then I'm going to lengthen that back out as I come all the way back slowly. This is the slow release. That hip drops, my elbow drops, and my head drops. And yes, I relax. All right, we're going to go again. I'm going to lift the elbow, lift the hip, and we're coming up and around. Again, I keep moving that back arm. I'm getting some good range of motion already. Now, once I'm here this time, I'm going to take both shoulder blades and try to slide them in towards my spine. Now, sometimes it's a little harder to do this outside one, but remember from last week, you can visualize it and get the same result. So if you can't do it, just visualize it. And then let's begin to bring it slowly all the way back. That hip drops, the elbow drops, the head drops. And you give yourself a nice relax. Good. We're going to do that one more time. Lifting and coming up and around. Up and around, up and around. Oh, look, I'm already getting quite a bit more just from doing that. So now I'm going to, again, squeeze both shoulder blades in. Lengthen them first as I begin to bring myself all the way back with that lovely release and drop the head. Now, we're going to do the same movement. The only difference is the head is going to go in opposition of the shoulders. So watch. We're going to lift up. Now, as my shoulders go to the back, my head is going to look over that front shoulder. And now as I get to here, looking over my front shoulder, I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades again. Then I'm going to lengthen them. Now, remember, as you come back the other way, the head turns as well. So now my shoulders come, my hip drops. I'm going to have my head now look over the front shoulder as I drop on down and relax. So I'm going to do that one more time. So I'm going to lift up. I'm going to bring the shoulders to the back as my head comes forward. And now I'm going to drop my shoulders down a little bit away from my ears. I might even tuck my chin in a little bit, just a little bit different movement. Then I'm going to squeeze between my shoulder blades, lengthen, and here we go. We're coming all the way back slowly. My top hip's going to drop. My elbow drops. My head drops, but it's now looking over this outside shoulder. All right, we're going to change it up now. I'm going to take my head and I'm going to put my finger right here, right under my chin. Now, try not to lift the chin. I'm going to make it level to the floor. But I'm going to put it here with my thumb on my breastbone. Because why? Because when you turn, you want to keep that head exactly in alignment with the breastbone. So let's try this. Lifting the hip, we're coming up and around. One more time. So this time, you're not going to turn the head any more than you have it right there. If you can do shoulder blades, great. It's a little harder to do shoulder blades here. So I'm going to visualize mine. And then I'm going to slowly release all the way back. Drop that top hip. I'm going to drop the hand, drop the head, and relax. Now, I could do a few more, but quite frankly, you already got quite a bit of release. You want to test? Let's use this one as a test. So I'm going to put this hand on this knee. The test is with the knee. You're going to lift the hip, and come up and around. Now my hand is all the way in the back already, and look how much more I got. I mean, I was here, now I'm all the way over there in terms of what I can see, and I'm going to drop it all the way back. So we just released all these muscles in the back and in the torso. So amazing. That's your miracle moment. And then you can bring your feet together. I always kind of like to do a little bit of a integration move. Maybe this is a really nice integration move where you can put the bottoms of your feet together. Knees are out kind of like in a big diamond. You can grab on right below the knees, pull up, come up tall on your sit bones, and then relax the lower back and allow yourself to roll back, tucking the chin, tucking up underneath the pubic bone, tipping it up so you can get a nice stretch on your lower back. And then use the hands, pull up against the legs to roll your pelvis back up. Let's just do it one more time. Let's inhale first. Exhale, relax that lower back. I'm going to go to the side just so you can see, and roll on back. Can you see how nice and rounded the back is? I'm curling under, my elbows are out, and then I'm going to pull up on the legs. Pull up on the legs and let that pelvis roll back under you. Ta-da! And now we're going to go to the other side. Same exact thing. So here we go. Putting the feet back in here. Again, sometimes one side, you'll need the pillow and not the other. Our sides are not exactly the same. So check in somatically, shutting eyes. How am I feeling? Am I comfortable? And make yourself comfortable before we start. Let's do our test. We're going to put our hand here on the knee. The other hand is back out here. And here we go. So I'm going to lift that top hip. I'm going to come around. And you know what? This is as far as I can go right now. That's as far as I can go. And I feel lots of tension in here. One side, as I said, is usually very different from the other. And drop that hip. Drop the head. Relax. And now we're going to start the flow. Hand goes up, opposite shoulder. Okay, you ready? So we're going to lift the hip. And we're going to come up and around. Let that hip just come up and around. You're going to turn just to wherever it's comfortable. And then we're going to slowly release everything all the way back to the front, dropping that top hip, dropping the elbow, dropping the head. Let's go again. Same move. Lifting the hip and the shoulder and the elbow, and coming up and around. I'm already ready to move that hand back. Good. And now the arm that's on the ground, I'm going to squeeze that shoulder blade in towards my spine. And I'm just going to pause there for a moment and then lengthen it back out. You never want to stay in those deep stretches more than maybe 3 seconds. Otherwise, the stretch reflex picks up. Drop this down. Drop the elbow in the head. Nice. You ready? We're going again. We're lifting the hip. We're lifting the elbow. And we're coming around. Coming around. Let the head turn again to wherever it's comfortable. And now I'm going to squeeze both shoulder blades in. I'm going to get a sense of engaging my upper back. And then I'm going to start to release it back out. And drop that top hip, drop the elbow, drop the head, and you got it. We're going to relax here. I like to do a nice deep breath or a nice cleansing breath just to move the energy because you're moving a lot of energy when you're doing this work. All right, we're going to go same move exactly one more time. We're lifting the hip and the elbow, and we're going to come up and around. Can you see why it's called the Lighthouse? It looks a little bit like a lighthouse, doesn't it? And now I'm going to squeeze those shoulder blades one more time. Ooh, and I really feel a lot of contraction all in here, which is lovely. And then come back slowly, slowly release. Hip drops, elbow drops, and the head drops, and you relax. Now we're going to do the same thing, head in opposition. All right, so lifting up. As my shoulders go back, my head looks over the front shoulder. Now, it's fun in these to just play when you're doing this. And here's what I mean by that. Like sometimes can you see my chin is lifted? I just automatically lifted my chin. So now I'm going to think, okay, how would it feel if I drop my chin, maybe tuck it back a little bit, drop the shoulders down a little bit, and get a different feeling there and squeeze between the shoulder blades. So all these different movements will just help release. Release all that. As I come back to the front, my head turns, dropping hip, dropping elbow. And now I'm looking out from that outside shoulder. And we're going to do that exact same thing one more time. Lifting up, shoulders go back as the head comes forward. Good, I'm already having to move that arm back. Shoulders squeeze between, shoulders down, dropping chin, looking. Ooh, noticing what you're feeling. And then let's release all the way back. Coming back, dropping hip, dropping elbow, and the head is now looking over this front shoulder. And I'm relaxing. All right, we're just going to do one more. And that is the finger at the chin. So I'm going to drop my chin, put the hand right there and at the breastbone with my thumb. I'm going to lift the hip, and I'm going to come up and over. Now, one thing I want to mention too with this one, make sure that the hand that's on the ground is not too close into your body. It's out a little bit more. So you have that good lean. In other words, it's not a straight up posture. You are leaning slightly, and that's how you get all into this whole back region. Good, squeezing shoulder blades if you can. If not, you can visualize. Lengthening back there, and then coming all the way back. dropping the hip, dropping hand. And sometimes I like to come up off of that because sometimes when you do a few, especially if you have some weak wrists, you can feel that in your hands and your wrists, and just give yourself some nice little rotations with the fingers and the wrist. Good for bone building, by the way. So a lot of us have weak wrists, and when we do some of these, it's like, oh, my wrists hurt. But you know what? You want to try a little bit, because putting that pressure on there is how you build bone, right? Weight-bearing exercise. So it's very good for building bone in these small muscles, our small bones. All right, you ready? We're going to test. Hand out. Other hand on the knee, and I'm going to lift up and around. Oh my goodness, did I get so much more out of that. And then come all the way back up, drop the hip, drop the shoulders, and that is your miracle moment. It is called the Lighthouse. And just a couple other things, when you go to do it, once you kind of get what we're doing and you've watched and kind of seen, it's a really great idea to shut your eyes, because somatics is very much about experiencing your body from the inside. And we're so visual, and our whole world is focused out there, that it's really a beautiful practice to shut our eyes and really go inside and notice all the things that are happening inside. So you're experiencing your body from the inside, and you can get lots of beautiful healing messages in that way, and it works even better. So I hope you enjoyed today's Lighthouse Miracle Moment. You can also, as I said, do it in a chair. It's very relaxing, and now as I get up, you can see, you'll just feel how much more free you are in your torso, even neck and shoulders. You'll be able to open up and then go on with your day. So thanks so much for allowing me to share with you my miracle moment. I hope you have many miracle moments of your own, and I believe I will see you one more time this month, next Wednesday at 4. Blessings to all of you. Please be safe. Take good care of yourselves. Be kind. And I'll see you again next week. Bye.